Namaskar friends, welcome to our channel. Today we bring a special podcast on Vedanta Darshan. It is also a part of Nav Darshan. We are truly honored to have Padma Shri Acharya Vishwanath ji, a respected thinker and guide who dedicate his life to exploring on Vedanta Darshan. Acharya ji, warm welcome to you. Acharya ji, kindly explain your journey with us.
Before I start, can I do a prayer?
Yes, sir.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Paramparam Shri Jagan Mataram Devi Stitadi Padmakasana Hridayasagara My journey.
Yes, sir.
So my journey started in mechanical engineering. I was studying on this top tech universities in Brazil, and I has just graduated, and I started to work in the financial market. So I had a company, and very successful company, and was running like multiple clients around Brazil. And I was dealing with many people that they were very successful. But at the same time, when I look to them, like to the business owners, to the managers, I see they were very stressed out. They live a life of a lot of conflict, relationship conflict. Of course, there are some of them that are very good people, but most of them, they were very lost on their own lives. So I said, something is wrong because I'm going on this path and I don't want to be like them, I want something better for my life. So I started to look for answers. And then I met yoga and Vedanta, and my journey started like that 20 years ago.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your journey with us. Sir, how could you feel after getting a Padma Shri?
Uh, I was not expecting, I was in my home with my kids and my wife, and suddenly I received a phone call from the Indian ambassador saying that I was appointed for the Padma Shri, if I would accept it. I said, of course. But I did not know the implications of that. In Brazil, like these national awards, they are not very valued. But anyway, I understood it was something important and I came. And I was surprised with the nourishment and gratitude that I received from all Indian people. That was really warm to my heart. And from that, I also was asking, like, why did I receive this Padma Shri? Of course, we have a very extensive work, and that's the reason why they gave us this Padma Shri. But what's the purpose? Being also a young person, like when I was in the Padma Shri ceremony, I was like the youngest. So I understood that I had to do something back to India, my heart. And but at the same time, how a Western guru will help India, that so many wonderful teachers and culture here. Then I understood that I could speak to the youth, I could speak like to the youngsters that are looking up to the Western culture. So I could show them the value of their own culture. And that's why I'm here also in India again.
Thank you, sir, for your explanation. Acharji, kindly tell us about the Advaita Vedanta philosophy.
Advaita Vedanta is the philosophy established by the Vedas and specifically defended by Sri Shankaracharya. It's a vision, that the creator cannot be separate from their own creation. The creator is ultimate, it's like the cause for everything. So everything that comes from him is not separate than him. So it's like understanding that this reality that we live on is like a dream, where the dreamer is everything. So that's why we say non-duality, because there is an apparent duality that we live, like in this body and relating to people. But as in a dream, everything is one.
Sir, in India, many universities under Nav Darshan do not properly teach Vedanta Darshan. How is Vedanta Darshan taught in other countries?
Yes, of course. What happened is that, in the academy, when we study philosophy, we study from outside. We analyze it, we interpret it. But imagine that Vedanta is a philosophy that talks about the person that is studying. So you need to undergo a change to really understand what the Vedanta philosophy is. So it's not a philosophy as such, it's a path of knowledge that has a philosophy behind it. So it's something very peculiar. Here in India, like I was very delighted to know many of philosophers and academicians that they study properly Vedanta. But in Brazil, in the West, when they study Vedanta, they study from outside. Then you cannot get it. So I feel that the traditional way of teaching Vedanta helps the person that is studying to go through the growth process that Vedanta requires.
Thank you, Acharya. Acharya, how can we apply Vedanta Darshan in a practical way in our daily life?
So Vedanta will show us that if we don't have a balanced life, the proper understanding of who we are cannot be clear. So the clarity on this understanding is dependent upon certain level of adhikari, of qualification in the part of the person. So Vedanta will prompt the person to grow, to work with basic human values like truth, charity. So when you study Vedanta philosophy, you become a better person. So this becoming a better person is the practical vision of this Vedanta.
Acharya, in today's busy world where most people are focused on money and material success, how can we apply the principle of Vedanta philosophy in our daily lives?
That's a very good question. So I have to tell one thing. There is no such a thing as a successful, stressed out person. If a person is very successful, have a lot of power, money, fame, but does not have a good life, so what's the point of this success? You know? So Vedanta philosophy is not like some luxury that some people study. It's a need, because you need to be a successful and happy shanti person. So how to do that? Money by itself does not bring anybody peace. It can give you comfort, but cannot give you happiness.
Thank you, sir. Acharya ji, kindly explain Brahm Satyam Jagat Mithya Brahmaiva Jivo Na Para.
Sorry. So in Vedanta, we understand that there is this mithya level of reality. What does this mean? There are things that exist, like uh, the objects that are around us in the world. But if you take, like, for example, the blue sky, the sky is blue, you see the blue sky, but that's just an appearance. It's not true.
Yes.
If you look like to a rainbow or to a snake that you project on a rope, there is a reality to it because you fear the snake, because you have to program yourself to deal with this level of reality. But at the same time, once you inquire into it, you know that it's false. We think that the blue sky is like that, there's snake in the road is like that, but actually everything is like that. Even these walls, they are not solid. They appear to be solid. Everything that is around us is in motion, but we think that things are steady. So all this, let's say, relative reality that we are in, it's not what it appears to be. So in our understanding, we are able to look to the whole Jagat and understand that it's just a momentary appearance. And the reality, Satyam, it's what sustains it. So what does sustain the reality that we are in? Everything that we see, it's basically happening in our mind. Everything around us are just thoughts. And these thoughts they are coming and going. If you sleep and you dream, you are in another place and you are a completely different person. But there is something that is going through all this experience and it stays the same. This is what we call consciousness, and that's Satya.
Thank you, Acharya ji, for your explanation. Acharya ji, kindly explain the word Maya because many people in society are confused about its real meaning and understand it in different way.
Yes. So Maya is the, how we say, the goddess mother. You know, people think Maya always as a negative thing, but actually speaking, everything that is created by Maya. And we should not see Maya as something negative as such, because the beauty of the world is the beauty of forms. So it's like when a child, watch a cartoon, it's for their amusement, but at the same time, you can get lost. So once we see that Maya has the power to make a person lost inside the dream, then we see it's something negative, but we should not see like that. In Maya Shakti, in our individual experience, it's giving us ignorance about who we are. And that ignorance we have to remove. Once this ignorance is removed, you are awake inside your own dream, and Maya becomes your vibhuti, the glory of this creation.
Is income also considered Maya? Are income and property a part of Maya according to Vedanta philosophy?
Everything is part of Maya. All the positive things in the world and all the negative things also. But positive and negative is just from the perspective of what we want. People may say a shark, is negative. A bird is positive. But birds fight each other. They eat the eggs of each other. They are fighting. Sometimes we imagine, if I was flying in the sky, it's so beautiful. They are in war. And in the ocean, there are also many conflicts. In the forest, also, and the human society also. All this is Maya.
Thank you, sir, for your explanation. Acharya, finally, what your message for your younger generation, those who have deviated from path?
I have a very important message that's coming from a Western. I see that the youth and people in India in general, they think that this Vedanta philosophy is just like for Brahmins, and it's not true. This Vedanta is for everybody, and you can be young, you can be old, you can be a man or a woman, you can be even a Western. This philosophy is going to bless you if you open your heart to it. Vedanta is not a religion as such. You can be very religious and study Vedanta, that's fine. But you can also be a scientist and study Vedanta like Schopenhauer, Einstein, and many philosophers did. Also, Vedanta is a path of knowledge, and it can bless you no matter what your dream is. You don't need to leave aside your dreams to study Vedanta. Vedanta is something that will help you. Whatever karma you have, whatever paratha you have to live, this knowledge will bless you.
Thank you, Acharya. But in today's generation, people do not truly feel or understand Vedanta darshan. They often say that it is mithya.
Yes, sometimes what happened, the language that is spoken is sometimes too much rigid, or people may feel that's outdated. And that is part of what the tradition is. It always has been like that. The tradition is coming from the past. And the young generations have to open their hearts and get from this, let's say, ancient knowledge what they need. So we have to become translators. We have to adapt the language of the Vedas and all that, so that the younger generations can grasp it.
Acharya, thank you so much for your wisdom and younger generation understand Vedanta easily. And to our dear listener, if you enjoy the podcast, then do like, subscribe and share. If you have any question, then comment. We will meet again in next podcast. Thank you.